into a Kimora sweep. We have the arm wrap game, and the arm wrap game, once I wrap that arm, that leads into a whole host of attacks and sweep. We have a very powerful sweep there in the elevator sweep. After those two basic attacks, if my game's not working, I'm going to start playing an open guard. We're going to go over open guard next month, playing scissor sweep and butterfly guard sweep and scissor guard, all those different open guard games. But if we don't have a decent grasp on a closed guard, which is probably going to be our primary guard when we first get started, we're going to feel lost when we start trying to spar or compete against somebody. These two games, I also mix with a Kimora lock game. My Kimora lock game is very powerful because once I wrap your arm, you should have a very hard time escaping my attack scenario because I have 15 different combinations to be able to attack from a scenario like that. And if I can use the arm bar game, the arm wrap game, and the Kimora lock game, that leads me into all kinds of different sweeps and attacks and combinations of sweeps and attacks that make it harder for my opponent to handle my game. So the idea here, Kimora lock, is in my guard. From right here, preferably I'd want his hands on the ground so I can grab a wrist and then slide my elbow and sit up on it. But this guy is not going to let me do that. He's not going to put his hands on the ground. Sometimes when the guy's got me here, his hands are on my hips. Some people like to do this where they keep their elbows bent. They try to put that pressure like you teach a kid. They dig the elbows in your thighs. And if you're not trained for like a seasoned grappler, that little pressure might be ticklish or it might cause you pain to open your legs. But in a real world scenario, if somebody's driving their elbows inside of my thighs, it allows me to be able to grab here and start making chokes. You see how now I can pull him, it's easier to pull him forward because now he's using the frame that's gone because there's a bend, right? That same bend also allows me to sit up on that wrist here. Look at how I have this wrist bent. If I grab this elbow and I push forward, I can make a wrist lock right here the more I open that arm. See that little scenario right there? So from here, I'm going to grab that wrist. I'm going to try to sit up and make this Kimora lock. I'm going to try to make this Kimora lock grip here. From this Kimora lock grip here, he still has my belt. He still has my pants or whatever he was holding on to. I'm going to lay back. And when I straighten my legs and put my hips into his stomach, that causes an immense amount of pressure. I'm going to put the leg on the ground. I'm going to escape my hip and get all the way on my side. I get all the way on my side. Look at how I kick my leg. And I turn my body, causing a ton of pressure here on him. Again, the Kimora lock game, trying to wrap this arm on my hip is kind of hard sometimes. So what I can do, I can try to escape my hip and turn to my side. Keep your hand on, like, on the belt. So what's going to happen is I got to make a bit of an angle. I got to try to get the arm to the side. What I can also do is break this grip and then grab that wrist. You see how I made a circular motion to put his hand on the mat? I punch inside, I break the grip, and because I have this arm and he's trying to pull it back or whatever, I can open it up and grab that wrist. Now that gives me the line to sit up and grab my wrist, and then pull the arm and collect it nice and tight here. Teaching the move with the hand is touching the ground is good for learning at the beginning, but this idea is going to be more realistic on how to get his arm to be on the ground without him wanting to put it there for you. Trying to lock it up like this, if his arm is straight, it's never going to happen. I'm never going to get there, so I have to get rid of one of these arms. So again, cross grip, grab my own wrist, break the grip, grab the wrist. From right here, as he puts that arm down to the ground, I'm going to sit up, grab my wrist, lay back, pull the elbow to my chin, straighten my legs and lift my hips. This isolates the arm. Here now he has an option. He can try to pull it out, but he can't, so he's going to try to straighten it. I'm going to straighten it for him. Look at how I do is straighten it for him. And look at how I'm going to just keep my grips tight now. And look at how I'm pushing his hand. See the other side of my face. It shouldn't get even halfway there without him tapping. From right here, I keep the arm bent nice and tight. My leg goes in the ground. I'm going to do little micro movements, little micro snakes, and get all the way to my side. Look at how I climb my leg high. My leg is going to push his body away. The back of my thigh is going to push his body away. I'm going to pull his elbow to my head. And I'm going to twist my hips to the ground. There's three motions: a pushing, a pulling, and a twisting. And that ensures that when I make my attack, it's not going to just tear the forearm or tear the elbow. I'm trying to take the shoulder off. I'm trying to tear the rotator cuff. That Kimora lock game now leads me into a Kimora sweep game or a guillotine game. Because what's gonna happen is, once I get his hand on the ground and I start attacking that Kimora lock, he's not gonna stay there till he finishes. So he's gonna try to grab either his leg, or he's gonna try to defend himself by grabbing something. So what's gonna happen again, we're here, cross grip, back to the first techniques that we were going over, reviewing all those again. I punch inside, I break the grip, I wrap the arm. As I wrap that arm and I sit up and grab my Kimora lock, he's gonna grab his thigh, grab the side of his leg here. So I can't pull the arm. So what's gonna happen, I'm gonna use the basic principle of Jiu-Jitsu. Every time I pull, he's gotta pull back. Because if he doesn't, I'm gonna keep pulling and break that grip. So when I pull, there's like a peak and a wave. A wave has a peak and a trough. A peak and a trough. A peak and a trough. I wanna keep him on the peak. So I base that hand, I lift my hips, and then get him over here. Once I get him over, I lock this arm, and look at how I'm gonna drive the hand straight. Make a straight arm lock. I drive the arm straight, he taps here, but he rotates the thumb. Now all I'm gonna do is put my hand on the ground, and look at how the back of my hand pulls his hand around his head, and then I go under his neck, grabbing my hands together. From here I make my arm triangle. I can stay in the mount, and then lower myself in the guard, and then grab my bicep and squeeze here real tight. But I don't wanna use power, I wanna use leverage. So I'm gonna stand up, and I'm gonna slide my knee across his belly, and I'm gonna lay flat. Look at how my hands are above his shoulder. I could squeeze here, but if a good guy is defending himself by grabbing his, we got on the phone? Answer the phone. He answers the phone, he tucks his chin. That makes a lot of problems for me. So what I wanna do is I wanna get his hip up a little bit by using my hip to bump him. As I bump him, I'm gonna get my hands under his back. Look at how my hands go under his back. I'm hip to hip with him. From right here, I don't care what defense is doing. I'm gonna get off the ground, and I'm gonna put all my weight back onto his corridor.